Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, it's happening. Bitcoin is overtaking gold in several ways. So, let's talk about it, including ETFs. So, let's talk about that today, and let's talk about what else is happening with Bitcoin. Something big is about to happen. So let's talk about that, including all-time high, which happened today, this morning. And also, let's talk about some major crypto updates. Of course, we got many. Yeah, let's talk about it. All right, let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. This morning, it was really, really exciting. It seemed like every single morning we're forming a new high. Right now, we're not at a new high. We came down a little bit. We're at 105.5, but this morning it was super hot. We started out like 107, and then, no, we started out like 106, and then we shot up to 107, and then we shot up to 108. So we broke into a new high territory. And XRP was really hot, and it still is. It's holding most of its gains. And you know what? Overall, it's looking good. It's looking really good for many crypto out there, right? So overall, nothing to be complaining about. But tomorrow, I think this usually happens. Okay, I think tomorrow, after the big FOMC meeting, we may see more. Okay, this generally happens. I think today could have been better. Tomorrow could have been better, or it could be better. And it's due to this. Okay, generally, you guys know, most of you guys know, Wall Street freaks out a little bit anytime we have an FOMC meeting, because they're afraid that Powell is going to do something drastic or say something drastic or say something that's unexpected, right? So tomorrow we will have this. The press report will come out right around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And he's going to hold his press conference. And no, I'm not going to be streaming it. I streamed way too much. I'm not going to be streaming it. But I will be streaming tomorrow morning. But it's already baked in that we're going to get another rate cut, okay, which is good. But again, Wall Street is always afraid of what he may say or something unexpected that may spook the market. But quite frankly, I don't see what he can say. But a lot of times after FOMC meeting, the market tanks more, okay? So tomorrow could be a red day again. It happens all the time for whatever reason. But then the day afterwards and the weeks afterwards are all green, right? So I think today was kind of like dampened a bit because of this, because Wall Street is like, like, let's just wait and see. It always seems to happen. I mean, it didn't really affect Bitcoin. I mean, quite honestly, like, we're still like forming new highs every single day. So it's not really affecting Bitcoin and crypto all that much. But I do think that after tomorrow, we can see bigger moves, right, for the last 2 weeks of this year, leading to this huge Santa rally, okay, that could put Bitcoin or push Bitcoin to the 110s, 120s territory. After this, I think this is the last thing that could hold us back, right? Or the last thing that could like give us that push upwards. Because honestly, there's nothing else. This is really the last thing, and I think it could be really good. So that's tomorrow. There's really nothing else to say about that. I guess we'll just see. I guess we'll see. Outside of tomorrow, I mean, there's just so much good stuff. Coinbase surpassed NASDAQ in revenue. So if you think about that, it's pretty crazy. Coinbase is considered the 5th largest exchange by revenue in the world, not just in the US, in the world based on revenue. That's how big and how much money Coinbase is and is making. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. That's really crazy if you think about it. Yeah, just to throw it out there. But today, Senator Loomis met with the new CryptosRUs, David Sachs, and they're discussing the reserve bill. Okay, so this is one of the major things that happened today. A lot of predictions on when this is going to take effect. Polymarket says that, you know, there's 60% chance it's going to happen within the first 100 days of Trump's, taking over, right? And this will be a big thing, a huge thing. I mean, come on, think about it, right? For the United States to start buying Bitcoin, putting it into a reserve, right? This is one of the ways that Bitcoin is overtaking gold. I mean, obviously, the United States and all the countries around the world has been hoarding gold forever. And now we're going to start hoarding Bitcoin, right? That's just, come on. Just think about it. Think about how ludicrous that sounds to begin with. And just think about even this idea, this notion of a country, a sovereign state of doing so just years ago would be laughed upon. But this is actually a real thing that's going to happen next year, guys. This is a real thing that's going to happen. Why are more people not talking about it? Why are more people not FOMOing, considering that the United States will be purchasing up to 5% of the total supply of Bitcoin? That's a lot. 5% of the total supply, considering there's not that much left, right? And then right afterwards, guess what? Russia is going to be doing the same thing. And then Japan is going to be doing the same thing. Brazil's going to do the same thing, right? The EU, actually, someone, proposed the same thing. All these other countries, the G7 and G15, they're all going to be talking about it. I mean, this is huge. This is a big deal. This is really big. And people are not really thinking about it. It's big. And states like Ohio, Texas, and many others, they're rushing to create bills to do the same thing so that the states can buy Bitcoin and put it in their treasury too. I mean, this is huge, guys. This is absolutely huge. I don't think enough people realize how big this is. Okay? This is ludicrous if you think about it. If I mentioned this back in 2021, and that's only 3 years ago, I mean, no one would believe it. People would think that this is just a crazy talk. This is just like, this is just fantasy thinking that this is not going to happen. But this is happening next year. That's how crazy things have moved, from theoretical to reality. It's going to be crazy next year, guys. Maybe that's why Larry Fink and BlackRock, they have been accumulating so much because they already knew that this was happening, and Larry Fink truly understands. And BlackRock released a video explaining Bitcoin. I mean, BlackRock has been one of the biggest advocates of Bitcoin of this year. Not only have they been buying, they've been advising their clients to buy, and they're releasing all these educational videos about Bitcoin. They're giving presentations and everything. I mean, they want people to buy their ETFs. They want people to get involved, right? Obviously self-serving because they have the biggest Bitcoin ETF out there, but still, you know, they want as much as they can. They want domination, world domination, and Bitcoin domination. That's not a good thing, but, you know, in the meantime, it's definitely contributing to supply shock. And Saylor also, too. I mean, both neck and neck. Look at MicroStrategy and IBIT. Look at how much they've been buying since November. Neck and neck. Actually, MicroStrategy is leading. They're buying more than even BlackRock, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. All right. What else is there? Bitcoin is also overtaking gold in this, which is amazing considering that gold ETFs have been around for how long? Decades? And now, within a single year, not even, Bitcoin ETFs collectively broke $129 billion in net assets, surpassing gold ETFs for the first time. So within 11 months, there are more assets, AUM, under management in Bitcoin ETFs than gold ETFs. That's a crazy stat if you think about it. That's how much demand there is for Bitcoin right now. That's, again, ludicrous to think about in 11 months. That's how much buying there has been versus how long gold ETFs have been around. That's ludicrous once again. Final few things about Bitcoin. We are mimicking what happened last year in December. If you look at this pattern, it's exactly identical. It's really identical. And this is good because we are at the cusp of a major move upwards. And again, this could be correlated with tomorrow, this big FOMC meeting. And I just said it, this could be the big catalyst, the last thing that's holding us back. Afterwards, we could get that big push up that could push us to 110, 115, 120, 130, whatever it is. And that may conclude us for the remaining 2 weeks. And we may just hover there or slowly trend there, right? But this happened last year. This happened in 2020, the last halving event. We saw just a big spike up. We may see that. That's imminent within the next few days. By the end of this week, we may see that once again before the new year starts. So get ready for it. Strap on and get ready. We're like right there. Right there. It would not surprise me at any given time. I think tomorrow could be it. After the FOMC meeting, maybe not immediate, but that night. You know, because like I said, usually after FOMC meeting, the market actually tanks. Wall Street always tanks the market after FOMC meeting. And then the day afterwards is usually when things go upwards, right? So that night, maybe during my stream or after my stream, is when Bitcoin could go up. Could. Doesn't mean it will, but we're right there. And that happened last year too, right around this time. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is going on? Today, several things happened. Pudgy Penguins, they launched their token today. It's a popular NFT project. They decided that, hey, it was a good idea to launch their token. But unfortunately, you know, I mean, you can't call it a complete failure because it's still sitting at a 2 billion market cap. But it definitely went down, 50% since its launch. But, it's coming back. It may come back. I don't know, I don't know if it's I don't know the details, if it's just airdrop to holders or whatever. So if you got free tokens, you can't complain. If you bought at the top, then you know you have a right to complain. But if you got for some free tokens because you hold the NFT, then good for you. Then you made a lot of money. But also, of course, today the other big thing is, of course, the stablecoin from Ripple, the RLUSD. Seems like it was a success. A lot being minted today. That's why Ripple did pretty well. We'll see how this goes. But the more stablecoin that gets minted, the more that is being used, the more volume there is on XRP Ledger, ultimately will help XRP because there is a burning mechanism, and you know it'll burn XRP in the long run. And Dave Portnoy says he owns about $1.3 million in XRP, which is surprising because he is like the biggest lettuce hand there is. Once upon a time, he owned Bitcoin. Then he said he sold Bitcoin. Then he had SafeMoon, and then he sold SafeMoon, and then. So I'm surprised he holds anything. I'm surprised he even holds XRP. Yeah, I don't know. And then SBI says, you know what? They're going to do something. XRP buyback program. So if that goes through, that could be pretty big. That could be pretty big. What else is there? Yeah, also, as for ETFs, there may be XRP ETFs coming soon. But not just XRP. Sol ETFs, Litecoin ETF, HBAR ETF. According to Eric, he's thinking that first we're going to get a Bitcoin Ethereum combo ETF, and then probably Litecoin ETF, which I don't think so. No one's asking for Litecoin ETF. Then HBAR ETF. You know, no one's asking for HBAR ETF either. And then you get XRP ETF, Solana ETF. I think we're going to get Solana ETF before any of those, before Litecoin and HBAR. And then XRP ETF. Like, so we're going to get those too. It makes a whole lot of sense. And then also today, what this came out, Hedera partnered up with Chainlink, right? Hedera obviously recently made headline news. And Chainlink also made headline news, and these two are working together to enhance DeFi and RWA capabilities on top of Hedera. So good for both of these projects. Good for them. All right. Oh, and OpenSea. OpenSea most likely will be launching their own token and airdropping it at some time. They didn't hint it, but they just like, you know, they just registered in Cayman Islands, so most likely they're going to do some kind of airdrop. So just to throw it out there. All right. That's pretty much it. I think tomorrow, you know, unfortunately today, I think we got halted a little bit. I mean, there could be some profit taking too. I mean, we've been just so hot. Bitcoin's been so hot for this whole week. So today, a little profit taking, a little consolidation doesn't mean a whole lot. But tomorrow, I think this FOMC meeting, we just need to get past it. And this could be a big catalyst to push us forward. It could be huge. Like this. All right, let's do some Q&A. Doug, yeah, there's nothing wrong with 50, 25, 25. Doesn't matter what season it is. It still works. Scrolling up, Speedy Frankie. You think Yearn could reaches previous high. It's never been a project I was a fan of, so I haven't been tracking it. It's always possible, but honestly, I've not kept up with it. Lowrider, one Porsche Cup car. You won't be disappointed. I'm not, you know, I'm not in a rush to get a Porsche. And, you know, someday I'll get a 911 GT3 or turbo, but I'm just not in a rush to get a Porsche. RS Chris, a Litecoin ETF sounds logical as it has community status and grayscale accumulating again, so someone certainly wants it. No, it doesn't have community status and no one wants it. The only person that wants it is grayscale, so they could sell off all their Litecoin in their trust. That's the only reason why anyone wants it. Chester, if you asked me 6 months ago, I would have said most alts would be the all-time high with 108 Bitcoin. Would you say alts are underperforming? Are we on schedule? I'd say a lot of alts are underperforming. But, you know, again, I've said earlier this year, alts are not, Bitcoin is not driven by retail this cycle. Bitcoin is completely driven by institutions. So money is not pouring from institutions into alts, right? So I've said that before in a couple Sunday walk videos. I've said it in these live streams. So money is slow pouring into the alts. Retail is not really doing so. Retail is not really FOMOing in. The whales are the ones that are driving up the alts right now. And then retail is slowly FOMOing in. In prior cycles, what happened was retail and whales caused Bitcoin to go up, and a lot of the profits, you know, came out of Bitcoin and went into the alts. That's not happening this cycle. That's why I think a lot of alts are behind. Will that change next year? I think so. But it could be a little bit different than previous cycles. Austin. Sol has AI agents, like you were talking about yesterday, but on Sol, not Base, virtuals, it's Ella, Leah, and Nova. Can you do your magic? What magic? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you think there'll be another altcoin pump before January? I think there'll be narratives for pumps, but like as for like a mini altcoin season, no. But like a narratives, yes. So what was the narrative last week? I mentioned this in my Sunday walk video. It was DeFi, ETH DeFi projects. Right? Mostly because of World Liberty Financial, whatever they were purchasing, because of the association with Trump, people were FOMOing on that. So that's what caused a lot of DeFi projects to go up last week, right? And prior weeks was just American-based projects that could do well next year. So it was based on narratives. And then, you know, good news too. XRP went up today because of their stable coin. Good news right now drives up their price. So any good news does well. Sui actually just been killing it. I mean, Sui just been killing it because they just been executing. They really have no good news or anything. So there could be just standouts, just, you know, regular standouts too. Austin, no, I'm not gonna pull it up. If you want me to pull up, just try to pump them. No, I'm not gonna do it. Speedy Frankie, appreciate the work you do for the community. You're welcome. Thank you. What's your price prediction for SUI? I don't know. Very high. Very high. 100. I don't know. 10x would be like 45. It could probably go higher than that, like 60, 70, something like that. I don't know. Rodrigo, nothing happened to the altcoins. You just have to have more patience. Greg, George, do you just cash out to pay taxes or loan against your Bitcoin? Neither. Neither. I still make money, and I just use the money to pay my taxes. So I just make sure I save enough on the side to pay taxes. Locals only. Are you at all concerned about global liquidity tanking? We might see a blow off top January, February. No, I don't see that happening. Global liquidity is not going to tank. It's going to be the opposite. Everyone is cutting their rates, not just the U.S., and that's the opposite of liquidity tanking. That's liquidity injections. Economies are not doing well. So how do you combat that? By cutting rates and giving stimulus. Like China's been giving a lot of stimulus and cutting rates. EU's cutting rates. England's cutting rates. Like Canada, Australia. Everyone's cutting rates. EU's cutting. I mean, I mentioned EU, but like that's what countries are doing. You know, just cutting rates. And that's how you inject liquidity. It makes it cheaper for businesses to borrow. So I think it's the opposite of that. Thoughts on Destra and Hash AI? I've never heard of Destra. I've heard of a Hash AI, I think. $116. Have I seen this before? Revolution, optimize crypto mining. No. Looks like a deep in play with GPUs. Not on a lot of exchanges. Relatively small. Too early to tell. Can't really tell. They're too early. Will algo hit its high eventually? Yeah, it's still pretty far off. Any thoughts on Elon's Grok AI 3 coming out soon? You know what? Something happened with Grok 2. I used to use the AI image generator with Grok 2 beta, and it was great. I used to use it all the time to generate my thumbnail pictures with Bitcoin, and it was outstanding. And then now that's Grok 2 non-beta, it sucks at image generation. So whatever they did went backwards for image generation. So I don't know. So AI3, hopefully the image generation is better. But in terms of just normal information gathering, I think it's pretty good. But they're all improving. Gemini from Google is awesome too. And they're both free. ChatGPT, you know, I don't use it because you have to pay for it. So they're all getting better and better. Why no one talk about Sui Play? Any game built on Sui? Because no one knows. I've never heard of it. What do you think about Pengu airdrop? The one that tanked 50%. I mean, if you got an airdrop for free, there's nothing to complain about. But it did go down 50%. But it looks like it's coming back a little bit. As long as you didn't buy at the top, it's fine. If you got some free tokens, then great. What's a good swap to connect my Sui wallet to get some good Sui memes? I actually don't. What's that Sui? Cetus? I think they're the biggest DEX. Yeah, I think Cetus is the biggest DEX on Sui. I'm pretty sure they are. Bruin being all in for Bitcoin's altcoin season. Yeah, a lot of Bitcoin maxis, they've been making the most. Bitcoin has been the strongest crypto, stronger than most alts. Do you think the graph will hit $3 a cycle? I don't know. It's possible. Lee, it's possible. How high do you think compound on Robinhood could? Why is that relevant? Compound on Robinhood or Coinbase or any exchange would be the same amount. Just based on that question, makes me think that you're very, very, very new to this space. I'm just going to say it's higher than it is now. Rich, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Kinley? Is that how you say it? Kinelli? Is it Kinelli or Kinley? I don't even know how to pronounce that name. J-Bro, would you spend 40K on crypto or pay off mortgage? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. If you were, you know, I don't know. Depends on your situation. If you have any debt, how old you are, how good your job is, how much you make. It really depends on those things. Like if you don't make a lot of money, then I would say just pay off your mortgage, especially if you're older, you want to be more conservative. But if you're like younger, you make a lot of money, you know, you could take on more risk, then I would say probably the crypto is a better way. But, you know, again, I don't know anything about you. So plus I'm not your financial advisor, so I can't tell you what to do. Pete, Chris, tweet with Trump, any insight? Yeah, the CEO of Crypto.com met with Trump. I don't know what that means. Could be good. You know, trying to meet with Trump, maybe, you know, make Crypto.com preferred crypto exchange of America, something like that. you know, getting to know Trump and working with him in some way definitely can't hurt, but I don't know what it means. Citizen Crypto, when you get an airdrop, do you keep the coins or cash out? I got Penguins today, cash out half, let balance ride. Good decision or not, in your opinion? There's no good or there's no right or wrong answer, man. If you made money, you cash out, great. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. If you cash out and it goes up, you could say, well, that's a bad decision, but you know, you never know. Maybe it tanks afterwards. As long as you got some free crypto, you made some money from it, it's a win. It's a win. If you kept some of it, you know, and then it continues to go up, then great, right? Marco, should I swap out my Cardano? Yeah, I can't tell you what to do, Marco. You make your own decision. What will be the true signal of altcoin season start? When everything starts pumping. When everything starts pumping, that's when you know it's altcoin season. Not just a few. When everything starts pumping, like everything here is like all green, 10, 15, 20%. And you'll know when those days come. And it seems like it happens every single day. That's when you know we're in altcoin season. And it's not going to last very long. True altcoin season only lasts like a few weeks. It's not going to last for like months. Okay. But leading up to it, you'll see like you'll see rotations of certain crypto start pumping. And then you'll notice more crypto pumping. And then eventually everything pumps. That's when you know like we're getting really close to the top. Yeah, that's usually what happens. All right. Oh, we're going down a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's all due to tomorrow. People are just freaked out by this. I don't know why people are freaked out by the FOMC meeting. Afterwards, the sky is clear. But like it's always like FOMC meeting, Wall Street and many others, they're just afraid Powell's gonna say something nasty. And then like they always like sell off ahead of time and then they're like trying to prepare for something like big, but I can't see that he's gonna say anything that's gonna scare off anything. But you know, we'll see. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll see what's going on tomorrow. And we'll prepare for this big meeting or big press conference. But overall, Bitcoin is in a really good spot, has overtaken gold in many ways. And next year is going to be absolutely fantastic. All right. Have a good one. Take care.